I think the main responsibility that we had was to really represent the country. Besides understanding the facts and the history behind the artists and the artwork, it was very much, the questions that we were getting were very much about what is it like to live in the UAE, and then when they find out you're Emirati, what is it like to be an Emirati female was a big question that we got while we were there. So mainly it was representation, I think, of the country that we had as our main responsibility.
Okay, so as soon as we open our doors, the pavilion doors, we make sure that it's well maintained and clean for the guests. And as soon as the guest arrives, I think where the excitement begins by answering their questions about the different artworks within the pavilion or answering the questions about the UAE. I think the human interaction that we have, us as interns with the guests, is very critical to the success of the pavilion.
So we were there assisting the management of the pavilion, whether it's assisting the architects, putting the content of the exhibition, putting the magazines where they were, or even the actual content. So I was dealing with the videos and the illustrations. So I had my own laptop and I had to figure out how to do some of the illustrations there, last minute things. And that's the beauty of it, because sometimes you plan things ahead, but when you're actually there, you need to try to manage and put everything together in a very short and tight schedule.
Being in Venice as an intern or as an artist were both chances to represent the country and being an ambassador on different levels, where it's like representing the art scene, showing that we have a contemporary art scene, and representing the diversity of the country. For Rock, Paper, Scissors, we had not just Emiratis representing the art scene, but people who live here. And I think it was really great to be part of that.
Before we started our internship in Venice, we did some training sessions in the UAE, and they involved lectures from art historians, from architects, and all sorts of people. And they were very beneficial to us, not just for the internship, but personally as well, because they fed our knowledge and they prepared us for any questions that we might get asked when we go on with the internship.
I think the training sessions are critical for three main reasons. The first one is consistency. So they provide consistency for the Venice interns to portray the message of the United Arab Emirates, of the pavilion. The second thing, it provided us with a lot of knowledge about the art that will be showcased in the pavilion. And the third thing is that the living in Venice is a bit different from living in a conventional city like Dubai or Abu Dhabi. So the how-to guide by living in a historical city like Venice. So how do you deal with your waste in your apartment, or how do you deal with the structures such as the Arsenali or the UAE pavilion.
So the overall feedback that I've gotten from the visitors that I interacted with and that spoke to me was three main things, which was surprise and interest and curiosity. They were very curious to learn about how our young country has developed so fast over the span of 40 years.
As a Venice intern, one of the things that was interesting to me and shocking to the visitors is when they got to know that we are from the United Arab Emirates. And this is where the questions start to flow about different things, how we do things in the UAE, how did we study, etc.
Looking back at my time as an intern, I think it's one of the things that I would say I took from it is that I learned what it's like to live abroad away from my family for the very first time and to have roommates. And it's really interesting because I guess it prepared me for what was yet to come afterwards. Soon after my internship, I was applying to do my master's abroad in the States, and I applied through a Fulbright scholarship to do my master's in sculpture at the Maryland Institute College of Art. Soon after I returned back, I was selected to present my work at the Venice Biennale in 2017 at Rock, Paper, Scissors.
Now I'm an employee in Expo 2020, specifically working in operations. As a Venice intern, the experience provided me with a can-do attitude, especially that I didn't have an art and an architecture background when I went to Venice.
My main takeaway from the Venice internship was the community that was built around it. I think that through that we found a support system and a network that really just helped each other grow professionally.
What I would tell anyone applying to the internship is, doesn't matter whether you have a background in art or architecture, whether you're a UAE national or not, you're someone that's from this country, and going out to Italy to represent our country is such an amazing experience where you can learn and experience other pavilions and learn about other countries as well.
I want to tell them that this is a really good opportunity for them, and they will be the legacy that will carry forward this exhibition. It's one thing to have a legacy of structures and brick and mortar, but it's another thing when you have a human legacy that will move on in life and become an ambassador of this internship. I would say do it. It's an opportunity. It's a really good opportunity. It's so much fun. If I can do it again, I will actually do it.